Okay. I just pressed go live on YouTube, and I'm hoping today it's going to work out really well. I have Zoom open as well. And if you join, it'd be amazing for my watch hours alone if you have YouTube on, but you could mute it if you're coming into Zoom, because otherwise I'm going to hear myself coming through Zoom as well. So if you could do that, everyone is welcome to come hang out with me in Zoom as well as this. It's great having you here and having you in the chat. And I'm so glad that this is working because 2 weeks ago, I was really excited about the live stream and then it didn't work. But since then, I've upgraded my computer and I hope now it's going to do the things that I would like it to do. So I'm super happy to have you here. I see Klaus, Ingrid, Claire, Kiki, Lewis, Luca, Ike, Cindy, Sandra, Gabriela, Nick. Oh, that's so good. Astrid, Deo, Nana, Martina. It's so cool having you all here. I saw that last time there were like 36 people and then it didn't work. I was just like, oh no. But now it's working. I'm so happy to have you all here. We're going to be sketching side profile portraits today, and we're going to do 10-minute poses because it's fun to work with the time limit. And I think, yeah, it's really interesting to see what we can get done in 10 minutes. And I think I have 6 or 7 references lined up, and it's going to be great. Yeah, so nice to have you here. There's a lot to talk about. I have been busy. Part of the reason, like when the stream didn't work out last time, and I was a bit like, oh no, amongst other things, is I'm going to be releasing my facial features course, and the sign up will start this week, and there's going to be an early bird sign up, and I am incorporating live sessions into the course. And then when my computer was just like not cooperating, I was like, oh no, this is not what I want. So the course is going to be really awesome. I'm really looking forward to learning, sharing together and doing these live sessions and being able to share these lessons. We'll get into that. Let's just start drawing now. You could tell me in the chat what you're going to be working with today. I have my polychromos pencils, and so I'll be using some colored pencils as I have been doing this month. Been sketching profile images all month. Thank you, Ike, for letting me know the picture and sound are okay. That is so good. What a relief. Cool. And it's got this funny leaderboard thing. This is a kind of new thing where people get crowns, share the crowns around. The more you comment, the more likely you are to get a crown, whatever that means. But it's also great just to have you here watching. Africa Hernandez, hello, nice to have you here. Hello, Maya. Yeah, let's draw together. And as I often like to do, I have Zoom open, and you can come, and I love seeing what you're typing and saying in the chat on YouTube. That's really good, do that. But you can also come over to Zoom and you can actually speak, and I'll hear you, and we'll be able to talk with each other. There are a few people hanging out in the Zoom room, so nice to have you here. And we're going to sketch together now. So there is a link, you'll find your way. It says about drawing on Tuesdays, I think. Many of you will already know the way to the Zoom room, but if you go there, even though it's not a Tuesday, that link will work. All right, here we go. Here is almost profile drawing that I've been working on recently. And it looks very dark. How's it look for everyone else? I'm still not sure about my setup of my new gear here, but if you can see that, I'll be happy. And we're going to start by drawing. I have such good references. Here's Tikka. Tikka is so cool. I've got, if these people are on Instagram, I have their Instagram account names over here on the picture. And Tikka has been making amazing videos, super cool video editing. I can put things in the chat, but I'm hesitant to put the Zoom link in there. But it is in the description on YouTube if you go down. Because I've done it in the past and then my Zoom room has been crashed by rabble rousers, so I won't put it in the chat, but you'll be able to find it if you go looking in the description. I'm like staring into the light here. I don't know how bright my workspace is. Can everyone, hope you can see that all right. You can also see this nice smash on my iPad screen. Let's draw. 10 minutes, everyone ready? It's just 10 past, so we're doing pretty well. Things seem to be working. As we start drawing, if you are able to, if you're in Zoom and you have the ability to draw and talk at the same time, or maybe you could just take a break from drawing, and feel free to ask questions, just to chat, whatever you feel like. So focusing on profiles all this month and today as well. I'm going to be giving away one of these drawings to someone in the live chat. So if you would like the chance to win, then comment hashtag I want to win, and at the end I would let you know if you do, and then I'll send you, wherever you are in the world, I'll send you a favourite of the drawings I'm about to do. All right, we're drawing now. How is everyone? Busy drawing. So if you're in Zoom, feel free to unmute and talk. And if you're in YouTube, then you can chat on the keyboard. I'd love to know. Yes? Oh, yeah, that's great. So good to have you here, Diane. Yeah, I also really enjoy drawing with people. So it's... Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting in a live session where you're in a room with a bunch of amazing people. I remember the first time I went to a live drawing session and was just like, what's going on? It was kind of like overwhelming. Just the pace of things, and also how good everyone was and how good I wasn't. Being just in the Zoom room is pretty cool. No one sees what you're up to unless you want them to see. And it's just nice to hang out and chat. Yeah, for anyone who's been drawing along with me, although I haven't been streaming every day, I have been sharing reference every day again this month. So I did do, I think it was like 7 months of daily live streaming, and took a little break from it over the summer break. And a lot has happened since then. And I feel like I used to come here and tell you every day, like what had just happened on that day, what was up. And now it's been a while, and so much has been going on. And so yeah, it's cool to be back here drawing with you. And if you would like to get those daily references, there is a link to the Discord server where I share them, which is also in the description of this YouTube video. And whether you're here right now watching the replay, you can check it out. Actually, if you're watching the replay and the link has expired, or you're watching live and the link has expired, you'll have to let me know and I can give you a new link. The idea this month, each month this year, I've had a theme that I've been focusing on, and this month it has been profiles. So the side view of the face, which sometimes feels like it can be super easy and sometimes feels like it can be super hard. And as a companion to the theme of the month, actually because of my Patreon tutorials, actually, every month I film a tutorial for my Patreon supporters, and that's the reason I thought out these monthly themes. So I've been sketching profiles all month, and this week I'll be recording a tutorial about drawing profiles. So looking forward to doing that. I think profiles are so cool. And it's something I've often touched upon, but to focus on it for an entire month and to make a tutorial about it, I think is going to be pretty cool. I have never tried to cut a silhouette, but I think that is a super cool idea. Jane, who comes to Tuesday drawing sessions, has sometimes done cut portraits, and we have like the longest pose we have is 6 minutes. So within that 6 minutes, she's like been cutting stuff. But yeah, particularly for a profile, cutting a silhouette is a brilliant idea. Have you tried? Cool. Yeah. Sounds like fun. Um, yeah, because if you get that that silhouette, it's I can imagine if you're cutting it in paper, you just have this instant clear, bold thing to be able to present to someone. That'd be such a nice idea. Yeah, it takes up so much space. um, that's a great comment. When you draw silhouettes, the back of the head's always bigger than you think it is, which I'm finding out here. I'm just like, I don't have space left. Yeah, because it's like so much attention is focused on the facial features, but then there's so much head. um, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, and that's what's so interesting about that I've like come to realize about profiles. Why it's so interesting. Why it can be so challenging as well. Because everything you've learned about the face is all compressed into this little, a very narrow view. So it's yeah, it changes. Because I guess in the like I'm seeing inconsistencies here with what's going on in the reference, but I'm happy with it as a drawing. But there'll be a bit more forehead space here. But you've got like the vertical axis where you've got your eyebrows, eyes, nose, mouth, and stuff. It's that's still how it is frontally, but then it's all kind of compressed and squished into just this little the edge part of your face, which is interesting. Hi Linda, you're making your way to Zoom. Cool. Hello Eddie. Rave 222, catching a live for the first time in eons. There haven't been a lot of lives in eons. Since we have both been to London on separate occasions since the last time I successfully live streamed, which is cool. How was London for you, Krista? Who else has been to London recently? Who was from London? So it's kind of like amazing and shocking that it's been over a month already since I've been back from my week in London, which was very, very cool. Whereabouts are you, Claire? Another world. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I was also invited to participate in a group show with, I think it was 36 of us were sharing work from the Canyo collective. And yeah, that was really, really cool. Just spending time with everyone. So it was a lot of fun. And I also taught a workshop, which was very cool and inspired me to get back into teaching more physical events. I won't say real world because I think the internet is very real as well, but teaching in person. It was so nice to be there in person with a group of people. That was so cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And next weekend, I'm going to be doing some drawing in my village. There's going to be a potato festival, and just a couple of days ago, I was talking to one of the organizers, and I'm going to have a drawing table there, and I'll be sketching people and have lots of paper and drawing tools for people to come and draw with me. So that's going to be fun. Yeah, I think very different to other events because it's just going to be me, like in the village. There'll be all these people that I know, and I think most people here don't really know what I do. So it'd be fun just to hang out and sketch them. Oh yes, I think that so it's this the regional environmental teaching center, uh, the Rutz, in central Germany here, and they do these potato projects with school kids from the area. That was 10 minutes with Tikka. Thank you very much, Tikka. Um, um, who's next? Haha. Alfred. Anyone know this profile? Um, so they get school kids come out and they plant potatoes, and the school kids come and they harvest the potatoes, and they have like something like over 50 varieties of potato, and there'll be lots of potato to be had for sure. Just letting Martina and Linda into Zoom, and we'll move on to our next sketch. Okay, that's all right. If you see that someone's trying to get in, you can just let me know, and I can just like click it, because I'm not always looking, but that's also an option. Krista says, London baby, I did enjoy it a lot more than I thought I would, to be honest. Didn't get to the place, so I recommend it maybe next time. Yes, Chris came to the Onion Garden with me. That was incredible. So next time you're in London, anyone who's going to London, find your way to the Onion Garden. That's a very special place. All right, it's Chris. What is it? What's the Onion Garden? Mm-hmm. A jungle coffee shop in the middle of London. Exactly, that's what it is. Yeah, it was the first place I went, and so I live in this tiny village where there's a potato festival. um, yeah, Kartoffel is it's a good word. Um, I think maybe there are 700 inhabitants here. So, and it was the first time in 7 years that I had flown, and um, and then it was just kind of like an amazing, unusual experience. And then I was in London, where it feels like so much of the world is there, and all the busyness and all these people. And then I was in this little jungle oasis at the Onion Garden in central London. It was just like, what's this? It was so wonderful. So it was it's a little coffee place, which was, I think it was kind of born out of lockdown, if I understood correctly. A place for people to sit outside in central London and have a coffee. And it's like this little, like a wedge of pavement between some big buildings, and covered in potted plants and a greenhouse and a mural and very good coffee. And it's a lot of, it's just quite an amazing place. All right, this is interesting. I can tell instantly this is off. This is such a distinctive profile, which many of us have seen. And I'm wondering now, just 2 minutes in, what is what's off? How can I get this more Hitchcock? Does anyone have a favourite Alfred Hitchcock film? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, The Birds. I watched The Birds in high school. Vertigo. Okay. No, I don't, but I will. Does anyone else know Vertigo? I'll keep it in mind. So it's you know the place it's filmed. Vertigo. Cool. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 We've also got Jennifer in the YouTube chat. Another vote for Vertigo. Martina says review window. Hello, Tommy. Um, like your Lord of the Rings quote, Martina. I'm not sure. Anyone? 39 steps. I just my Hitchcock mind is dominated by the birds. Yeah, our at high school, my drama teacher showed it to us, and it was at the time so different to anything I had seen. It was, yeah, really, it's just so cool. Just such a different experience for me than what I knew at that stage. Oh, cool. Yeah. So does he have a cameo in every film? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was fun in the Marvel movies that Stan Lee would always be there somewhere. Perhaps inspired by Alfred Hitchcock cameo appearances. So something I mentioned, so I was talking about my Patreon tutorial. I filmed the videos for the course which is about to come out. I think, I don't know if I'm just totally losing track of time. It may have been like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. I can't quite remember. But I filmed them and shared them with my Patreon supporters because I make monthly tutorials there with the intent that once they were all made, I would make a course of it. So for any of you who back then were, so after I finished them at some point, I informed my Patreon supporters these videos you still have access to, but they're going to be archived because I'm making a course with them. So for those of you who have been supporting me for a while on Patreon, you'll be granted access because you helped me make it. And with the addition that there will also be live sessions, which I think is going to be really fun. So there'll be it'll be 5 weeks, of modules and a live session each week, which will maybe be about an hour or so, which will be a Q&A, question, answer, draw along. I've been asking people what they would like from a course, and I've had a lot of great input. So I'll be addressing a lot of, because the videos are already recorded, but a lot of the topics that have come up, there's some people have shared similar challenges and things that they would like covered. So I'm going to be working those suggestions into the live sessions. So I'm looking forward to the format as a combination of pre-recorded and live sessions. And yeah, so I'll be writing to you wonderful Patreon supporters who've been with me back in that stage when I was filming them. I'll be sending you an invitation to the course. For everyone else, you can get on the waiting list. There's a link in the description if you're interested. And I'll be this week sending out information about the early bird offer, and then we'll be starting. My plan now is to start October 6th, and anyone, if you have any questions about the course, feel free to ask. And there'll be a couple of live sessions maybe on YouTube, but there's also where I'm going to be hosting the course is called Kajabi, and Kajabi has its own group meeting, live streaming kind of setup. So I'm going to be trying that out as well. It will, so each week there will be a module released, and the first 4 weeks it's about an hour and a half or an hour and 40 minutes a week. And it's 3 different videos. So there'll be 3 different formats, and so each week a module will be released, and so all up that's 5 weeks. And then once they're released, they will remain available to be rewatched at your discretion and pleasure. So the idea is it will start in October, and early November. For those who keep up the pace, it'll be finished by then. But it'll be, you can do it at your own pace as well. But something that I have enjoyed a lot in the past is participating in events and courses where people are going through the same thing at the same time. There's going to be a community page for the course as well, where at least in that initial phase, people kind of be going through the same lessons at the same time. So I think the exchange between participants will be really cool for everyone who's learning together. That was 10 minutes. All right. Fun. A very, very fun profile. Thank you so much, Martina, for suggesting Alfred Hitchcock. I actually did a pink and orange watercolor portrait of Alfred Hitchcock in a stream a couple of years ago. It was a frontal one, so this is the first time with the profile. Yeah, such a cool picture. Thanks again, Martina. Who's next? All right, this is pretty different. This is by one of my favorite photographers, Rada. We've often drawn from Rada's photography in these streams, and I think she's just amazing. And the model is Patricia. And so this is interesting. This is different from all the others because there's a lot more going on with the whole image is actually like amazing. I want to focus on the profile, but the whole gesture of the raised arms and the hair, and there's so much going on. It's really cool. So this is the only one that's going to be like this today. A bit kind of zoomed out. And what color? I just kind of randomly pick these colors that I have. It's a deep cobalt green. And at any time, if and when you have questions, feel free to ask them, whether spoken in Zoom or written in the chat. Also in the chat, if you have favorite, or in the comments as well, if you're watching the replay, if you have favorite photographers, so let me know in the chat who they are, because it's I just love the world of photography and love the world. And there's something which I really appreciate about Rada's work, is she's from the Caucasus mountain range, I think, originally. A lot of her photography focuses on the life and culture of that region. So she has a lot of amazing photography throughout Russia and Asia and places that I've never been, and didn't really, particularly Russia, before the last few years, I didn't really have much insight into Russian life and culture, which I think may be by design. That there are certain places that are kind of that we know a lot about, and other places we don't know so much about. And I'm putting the timer on. I'm going to start drawing now, and I really appreciate about Rada's work that I just have gotten to see so many people living their lives in amazing places, and I used to travel quite a bit, and it was really enriched my experience of life, I would say. And now that I'm more sedentary and spend a lot of time in this potato village with my children, I really, really appreciate kind of traveling through the lens of amazing photographers. So yeah, put your favorite photographers in the chat. And Rada's so nice. Like, I've often been in touch and just expressed my appreciation for her work. And a lot of what she shares is in the stories. So when she goes out on photo shoots, she'll have, like, I don't know, she'll post every couple of days maybe, but sometimes it'll be like 20 stories of like driving through the mountains, sitting with people drinking tea, and there's like all this kind of background experience of what's behind the photo shoot. And those are they give another layer to them witnessing the photo, the product, like that whole experience. I think that's something which I really, really appreciate about Rada's work. In addition to the amazing photos, it's just like seeing that the experience of going to these incredible places and just being with these people, and it's so cool. I do follow Earthworld, yeah. 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 There are very very cool portraits there. What was that? Yeah, that's kind of my I know a lot of people really love drawing from the Earthworld stuff. But I've also written to Earth, and I would love to maybe have him as a guest on Drawn Together and talk about it. But that's something that I've wondered about, is they're often obviously taken from a distance, and not with consent. But there's yeah. But there's I also know some of the, like, David Callanan, who's an incredible street photographer from Boston. I think some of his talk with him on Drawn Together, and he was when he's out shooting, that he would just have the camera in his hand, and sometimes it's just like a passing movement, like wow, just, and it feels like that it's so close, and yeah, not always with consent, but some of the stories like that he's told, then he like gets into conversations with people, and yeah, there's something about street photography similar to this idea of like travel photography, which there's something kind of amazing of just feeling like being up close and personal with these people, which is very different to the vibe from those Earthworlds feel like they're taken from a distance, whereas David's photos feel like you're staring right into these people's eyes. There's a kind of a directness to it, which is very interesting. How's everyone doing? Ha ha ha, Tommy, yes, there is a reference of Lewis in the Dropbox. By the way, everyone, I put these reference images in a Dropbox folder, which is in the description. Thank you for mentioning that, Tommy. And I also, on Instagram and Canyo and Museum by Sketchy, I've been get references from many places and share work to many places. I have been asking people if they have profile reference photos for us to work from, and a few people shared some, so that's very cool. Yeah, and that's something that I really enjoy about drawing portraits, is to like the opportunity for contact with people and to be like, oh, amazing photo, can we work from this, and like the opportunity to connect and have a relationship, sometimes very brief, and sometimes it's turned into years of Instagram friendship, or yeah, it's nice to kind of celebrate that opportunity to connect. There's some interesting stuff going on with the arms here, like they're kind of melting into each other, like both of the arms and hands are up there, so it's kind of tricky discerning what's what. But if we just think of it as a value shape, and we just kind of lump it together. Airport photographer, Earth's World, is that what you mean? I don't know about a specific. Earth's World is one, yeah, and they take portraits taken at like county fairs. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, and a lot of people, they're very, there's a lot of character in the Earth's World portraits, so a lot of people really enjoy drawing from those. So Claire, how's your event sketching been this year? Cool. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I was also thinking perhaps the wedding season has wound down, but if people are still booking, that's cool. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I would love to do I haven't had any events. So this potato festival is going to be my first event in a while. A bit different kind of context, but who knows, that might lead to other such things as well. No problem. Not really. I, I similar to like kind of what I'm doing here, but in a briefer time frame. Um, but I don't know if it's a specific style. The first time I did an event, I just took like a whole bunch of different materials because I was like, what's even going to be like the right thing to use in this time frame? And I had one day where in 8 hours I did 50 portraits, and I loved it. But there was like, I thought maybe I'll use ink, maybe I'll do watercolor, and both of those didn't really. I didn't feel like they were as good as like my pencil drawings. So then I've focused more on this style, kind of like colored pencil. Um, yeah, so that's also something like if I were to do events, I'm not sure. Like I feel like different media in my experience, or maybe it's just my level of understanding of them, like lend themselves to different time frames. What do you use? What do you like to? All right. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. So this is A5 here. So you have like a couple. Um, yeah, sounds really cool. This is. We're getting a bit closer just to see the profile. That was 10 minutes. The gesture of the hand, or both hands. It's just like this kind of, anything that's kind of complex and challenging is also just somehow just kind of like an abstract shape. Like, I don't know, somehow it can tell that that's hands, but just reducing it to like seeing the value shape, I think can be very helpful. All right, should we draw Lewis next, since Tommy noticed Lewis. So Lewis is often here, and I really like this one because it's like um, a, a lower perspective. When Lewis sent a couple through, I've drawn Lewis a few times, and I really like this one because it's I don't know, perhaps a child's eye view, an untypical perspective. I have a different green. Emerald green. What's everyone else drawing with right now? Cool. Oh, okay. Nice. Graph gear. Cool. Water-soluble ink and watercolor sounds courageous. I actually started using these pencils because of an event I went to, and Ulrike Selders was also sketching there, and she does these amazing, fast, super cool portraits with. She uses all sorts of different stuff, I think, but she does her like initial lines with these polychromos pencils, because until that time I had these Derwent Inktense pencils, which I really like, but I would draw something, then as soon as I touch it with water, any definition, it just becomes lost. So I was like, oh, Rika, what are the pencils you're using? Because she does such cool stuff, and there's always this really distinctive pencil line work underneath her watercolor, and these are the pencils she was using. So I just kind of, yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. Lewis is here. The low angle shot perspective, leaving your ear tiny. Yes, the entire top of your head is very tiny, Lewis, at least in this photo. Tommy says, sorry I wasn't able to follow the live stream lately. Which days am I online these days? There haven't been that many live streams recently, but the next few weekends, I'll probably do Sunday evenings. I can, you're supposed to go to bed at school tomorrow. Don't hang out here, please go to bed. I love you, but it's time for you to sleep. Go to bed. I don't know. Go to bed. I'll come and check on you when I'm finished, okay? I don't know. Maybe we'll be finished in 40 minutes, I'm not sure. Go to bed, go to bed. Thank you for visiting. Please go to bed. Yeah. He's our oldest. When the younger ones are still awake, I've got to lock the door. He's 12. And appreciates the time when the little ones are asleep and he can have us to himself. But yeah, it's almost 10 already and school tomorrow. Yeah, this perspective is so cool. Like the whole, like from the nose down, just so much space. Martina says, I'm so nervous to actually draw Lewis. And Tommy's been looking for a reference of Lewis for so long. Lewis is a wonderful person to draw. And Lewis, it's been amazing as always seeing your interpretations of the reference I've been sharing. And anyone who's sketching along, if you're on Instagram, for example, you can tag me. I would love to see what you do during this session, whether you're here live or watching the replay. It's always super fun to see people's takes on the same reference. And it's always it's so cool. Everyone who's sharing their work on the Instagram or in the Discord server, it's always so nice to see what people do. And there was one I shared a couple of days ago of my 9-year-old. He wanted to be drawn. And this is a really cool reference of his head sticking out of the Baltic Sea, which is a great profile picture. I actually have it on the background of my phone. And I was telling him about he's actually, at the start of the year, he was participating in my daily portrait drawing. He drew a bunch of the first ones with me. And so when I told him about the daily portrait, he requested to be drawn. So if you if you go into the Discord server and you find the picture of Arvid, he would love to see it if you do a version of it. So you can send it to me and I'll show him. I've shifted my whole setup to standing at the moment, but I've realized that I've got my easel still a bit low, so I've got to like sink down into it. Next time I will have adjusted. But I've recently had some back issues, a lot of sitting, not a lot of good posture. But I've had some sitting coaching, and it's fascinating just how the angle of your pelvis can make or break you. So it's good to be able to stand and work and use the whole body. That is a very cool thing when I've done murals, which I'd also like to do more of. But it's so cool to paint big and use the whole body. The first ones I did, I used an oil paint, which is actually originally it's for traditional timber frame houses. It's like, because the oil paint is a breathable natural paint which was used, and I had a wonderful phase of making my own inks, and I was into the whole natural art supplies thing, and I found out that really close to where I live there's a firm that makes these oil paints, and so for my first mural I wanted to use their paints because it was a building that was to be demolished, and I thought I don't want to put like a layer of pollution on this building, which is just then going to be like demolished. So using these oil paints was really cool. So I've used those for outside, and they hold up really well, and they've been used for like, I guess, hundreds of years. And recently I did some inside painting, and that was kind of the traditional, well, I don't know how traditional, but the conventional like interior paint, which is they call it a dispersion paint. But it was really cool using those oil paints, and knowing that they have such a, like, they use earth pigments in them, and it's a really cool supply, nice to work with. And yeah, well, it was really cool the first time I got in touch with them. I was like, oh, could I come, like, you're actually pretty close, can I come and visit you? And they had like this, I got to see all of their pigments, because they also sell pigment in no medium, and so I got to see all the different pigments they have, and it was, yeah, they have really cool stuff. The kind of, what's traditionally used is often kind of like a dark kind of muted color, like, which is used on buildings, which is not necessarily the palette I would choose to paint with. But yeah, I've wondered actually about experimenting more with their colors, because I really like the whole vibe of what they're doing. But yeah, they have so many pigments. But the kind of the most common pigments, I guess, which they provide, there's like this almost like an indigo dark blue, which is really nice. A really warm earthy red color, and a kind of yellow ochre. Like, they have a lot of really earthy colors. All right, thank you, Lewis. So nice to have you here for your portrait, Lewis. Hello, Dust and Shadow. That is a very nice username. All right. Let's move on, shall we? Oh yeah, and by the way, as I said in the beginning, we've got a few left. But I'm going to give away one of these drawings to one of you here. So I don't know if anyone has said yet in the chat, if you put in hashtag I want to win, you might win. I don't think anyone has yet, so if you do it right now, you'll be the winner. But now that I've said it, maybe some other people. There are 34 of you here. Hello, welcome everyone. If you have not yet said hello in the chat yet, please do. Okay, Kiki is going to win as of right now. Thank you, Kiki. Who are we going to draw? Oh, Claire, Linda. Maybe you will win. All right. This is also very cool, shared via the Discord server. Shubham, who has also been doing some incredible drawings from the daily reference images. So if you're watching the replay at any time, Shubham, it's so cool. I really have been enjoying your work a lot. Nice to meet you online. Nice to draw you now. Okay, I'm gonna switch back to red again. Oh, okay. Now, Luca, Africa, Abir, Huez, Klaus. Abir, hello. So nice to have you here. You didn't say I want to win. You just said hello. Thank you for saying hello. I think you shared something about that new museum, and it's in Cairo, right? I'm not sure exactly, but I saw that a friend of mine that I know from here, who's from Egypt, she studied architecture in Japan, and now she lives in Germany. She, as a junior architect, worked on that new museum. So I don't know a lot about it, but I saw she shared something about it, and I think you shared something about it too, Abia, or maybe I was imagining it. I can't remember, but it's very exciting. I studied architecture. Architecture is very interesting, and it was so cool to see that Nuran worked on that building. Krista, Maya, Martina, Astrid, A, S. One of you will win. Lewis, that reference was not easy at all. It was very good though. Thank you for sharing it with us. A very good reference indeed. So everyone watching this, how yellow does my stuff look here? I have like a night vision setting, which I've got these blaring day lamps up here. I don't know if it's affecting my eyes much, but everything looks kind of yellow to me. And it may just be how I have my... It looks white? Thank you. That's reassuring to know, because I'm looking at my screen thinking it looks so yellow, but that's good to hear. All right, cool. Kiki says ivory. Off to the left looks a bit yellow. Interesting. Like, this looks yellow. This looks really yellow to me. Okay, let's draw. 10 minutes. So I think, what have we got left? Just 2 more. But I'm saving the hardest one for last. Okay. Bam Baba on Instagram. So I don't think Alfred Hitchcock has an Instagram. Everyone else's Instagrams, I've put their handles on the reference image up on screen, so be able to tag and thank and follow everyone on Instagram. Yeah, so these sessions, generally it's all learning by doing, providing a context to practice together. And in the tutorial I filmed this week, I'll really be able to, as I'm filming, really break down the way I'm looking at and figuring out the profile and things that have helped me as I've been practicing throughout the years. So I'm looking forward to making that and sharing it very soon. And a bunch of people joined my Patreon recently, which is so cool. Thank you, everyone. Whether you've been there for a while or just joined, it's so cool. And if anyone's interested in supporting my live streaming and content creation and teaching and sharing, then Patreon's a pretty cool way to do it. There are different ways to contribute, and there's like 35 tutorials on there now, I think, in the archive. So I film monthly tutorials, and it's been a lot of months now. And I'm really excited about releasing the facial features course, and I already have ideas for at least 2 more courses that I want to film. So hopefully it's all going to go well. Very curious in the platform, how it's going to be, and I really want to do, so it's with calligraphy pen and pencil, but it's about seeing and understanding the facial features. So there's anatomical tutorials, understanding the anatomy of the facial features. There's a quick sketch practice for each of the features that we focus on, and there are full portraits where it brings everything together. So I feel like it's pretty foundational. I like to draw like this. I don't do a lot of like Loomis head style stuff to find my way around. I've tried it, but it never really, I don't know. I just like this way of just kind of piecing things together bit by bit. And I see now, I see things that are inaccurate about it. If I slow down a bit and was more careful, maybe, only maybe, it could be even more accurate. But there's something which is just very enjoyable for me about piecing together a portrait this way. And in the full portrait practice in the course, I'll be focusing on this kind of drawing with a longer time frame, around 40 minutes each portrait. And the two, I have 3, but the 2 main ideas I'm thinking of beyond that. So perhaps early next year I could move into filming more courses, because I would really like to do a follow-up to my watercolor course, which was a course I did last year. And I really want to do an ink course, because ink is so good. And some of the pieces I've done in the daily live streams earlier this year, where I was using parallel pen with water-soluble ink and a brush pen, some of those pieces I like a whole lot, and I really want to focus on that. So that's an idea. There are lots of cool ways to use ink, and I think that could be a really exciting course to make. And I think ink is just such a great way to learn. Like I learned so much by focusing on using ink for a time. So those are some further ideas beyond the course, which I'm just about to release. So good question. What was it about ink that I feel like I learned so much from? I used to use graphite and erase a lot and redraw things a lot. And I feel like the way that I work with pencil now is very much informed by the time I spent using ink, because I'll just the kind of the way you have to commit to the mark making, like you need to consider what you're about to do, or you just go straight into it and then you have to deal with whatever you've just done because of the permanence of ink. So it can be quite confrontational in the beginning. And I did a lot of drawings I wasn't happy with. But that kind of slowed me down to be like, okay, I've got to think before I draw. Which with pencil I would just kind of like do stuff and erase it and redo it, and could spend so much time getting very little done, which perhaps was also an interesting part of my growth and experience to go through that. But then, yeah, focusing on ink, it really, in quite a brief space of time, I really noticed my work, my confidence developing in my mark making. And I feel like it's so there's so many different ways to use ink as well, but each, like, it can be very line centric, which I think can be really great. It can be a lot like watercolor, just with the main difference being that you can't re-wet it and move it around so much. So also in that case, it's also very beneficial in just kind of getting confident with like putting things down and leaving them there. So I think anyone, I imagine, who would have like a tendency, this feeling of like overworking things, or sometimes I would do these drawings and spend a week on them and then feel like they're not finished. And I feel like that was like when you start working with ink in the beginning, then it's like you'll be finished with potentially be finished with the work really quickly, because we're like, oh no, this doesn't feel comfortable anymore, I'm going to do something else. So it led me to having like a higher quantity of work that I was doing, because I would I guess I would feel like I reached the limit of what I was doing much faster than with pencil. And then once you just get a bunch more drawings under your belt, just have the experience of having drawn more, that is also a way to learn more, rather than doing, as I would do, to just draw one drawing for a whole week and then at the end feel like it's still not finished. So and I guess in some way this kind of practice of doing really timed, brief work also would have a really strong foundation in those years that I spent focusing on using ink. I think that's the answer to your question. I in the course, which is coming out right now, it's going to be calligraphy pen and colored pencil, but I have this idea for an ink course, which I'm really looking forward to making, which will probably be sometime next year. Because I've done work. Some of my favorite work that I've done this year has been with ink, and I feel like I made some kind of decisions, ways of working, which for myself I was like, wow, this is really interesting. Like the combination of the parallel pen and water brush, which felt like very much like focus on line work and line quality, but then also combining ink wash in the same kind of thing. So it's a combination. Until then I had felt like ink is line work or it's ink wash, and they kind of felt like two different things. And that way I was working, kind of felt like it was bringing it together, which was really cool. So that's something I'd like to focus on more and share that as well. That was 10 minutes. Thank you, Bam Baba. Such a cool photo. This is one I feel like I could totally keep working on. And has anyone never been here before? Is it your first time here? Because these, I often feel like, and I've said many times before, these kind of quick sketches, I feel like are often a seed. There could be something within this series of portraits today where it's like, oh, that's a cool beginning, and I feel like I could go further with that and turn it into something a bit more fleshed out. I'm reluctant to use the word finished because I think just something like that, something quick, can be finished. That can be like the power and the beauty of it, that just in a brief space of time you've done something and it's like, wow, that's cool. And then sometimes it's best just to leave it. But sometimes there'll be some pieces where I'm like, oh, I know there are things I could keep working on here that would also be really interesting. All right. So I've got one more. Abir said, yes, I already shared about the Grand Museum and I'll share again after the grand opening. Oh, the grand opening is in November. Exciting. I love seeing all the stuff you share, Abir. Yeah, it's so cool. So I look forward to seeing that as well. Bolivar Chagas, fascinating. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of those pink hands. Lewis said great. Cindy said great perspective to Lewis. Hughes and Reveries is happy with the yellowness, a little bit of yellow. Caller Ollie, hey, haven't been able to catch a live in a while. I'm Funny Olivier, Funny Oliver. Just changed your username. So nice to have you here. It's good to know that Caller Ollie is Funny Oliver. All right, so have the last reference, which is 2 portraits in one. Wait a minute. This is of Imola Dalma, who is IT Watercolors on Instagram and is also on the museum app. And has also been exploring ink recently, which has been really cool to see. Imola is an amazing watercolor artist. And I feel like this piece would be so cool to work on with ink, but I'm going to keep using pencil because that's what I'm doing today. Yeah, and so this is, I don't know, is this a 10-minute, is this a 20-minute drawing? Or do we do this in 10 minutes as well and see what happens? So this is so cool, this double exposure thing. Ah, so amazing. This is a cool pick, isn't it, Luca? Monica says, I was somewhere completely different, I guess. A past one, just joined this one. Cool. Thank you for being here, Monica. So cool. Let's draw this so cool image. And if you want to win one of my sketches, there's still time to put in hashtag I want to win, and I will, at the end of this, we can chat a bit, you can chat in the chat, we can talk in Zoom, and I will make a little spreadsheet of all the people who've said they want to win and use a random number picker, and one of you will win. So if you want to hang around until the end of it to find out if you have won, that's what's going to happen after this. Oh, Linda says, what about 15 minutes? That sounds good. I'm going to put on a 10-minute timer, and then I'll put on a 5-minute timer and be like, okay, then we have an extra 5 minutes. So we'll know, all right, whatever we've done after 10 minutes, we've got another 5 minutes to finish whatever we're doing. So thank you for that suggestion, Linda. That's good. Let's do it. Is this the first profile looking in this direction? I think it is. Martina says, just make it 1 hour. Would probably also be good. But not right now. Bedtime over here. 10 minutes. Let's go. So this will be tricky for like back of the head business, to just focus on, I guess, the the outside profile first feels like it would be a sensible place to start. And it's kind of this roaring portrait. It's kind of like blurry, a bit out of focus. Could keep it kind of soft. And this is really cool because this is really expressive, which is often when, so that's something I noticed. Someone, because I was asking people what they would like to learn in the upcoming course, and someone said different emotions, different expressions. Like, that's so good. I think a lot of the references I chose are fairly neutral, but whenever you've got something that is like expresses a more intense emotion, it's really interesting. It can be quite a challenge to capture that emotion, to somehow kind of, yeah, it's so cool, isn't it? But if you really pay attention to the shapes, the distances, the angles, which makes it seem very dry somehow, but I think if you put things in the right place, which I think just by looking at the way things interrelate and connect and stuff, then it can lead towards capturing whatever it is that is so expressive. And that's something I was just thinking about recently. I think as I was thinking about these things that people have written to me that they would like to learn, and there've been some mentorship conversations earlier this year where, this idea, sometimes people say, oh, you've captured this person's soul or something. This is something I've heard sometimes people say, and it's like, whoa, what does that mean? But there's something about like creating a drawing which is so somehow expressive and emotive. It's still marks of pigment on paper. But I was wondering, like, what is it that elicits that kind of feeling of it being so like emotional, so moving? Because it still boils down to putting things in the right place and having like a certain value relationship. And talking about all that, it doesn't feel as kind of mystifying as saying that it's a drawing of someone's soul, or that it's the essence of a person. But somehow those really successful drawings that feel like something special is also still a combination of just all of those elements of looking attentively, putting things in place, which I think is really, when I realized that, I was like, oh, that doesn't sound as kind of wondrous, but maybe it is. Like, maybe just that absolute focus and attention to detail, attention to value transitions. Maybe that is where the wonder lies, because sometimes I've noticed myself just getting so into the shapes that I'm seeing. I'm just like, wow, look at that. And I think if you can kind of get that level of connection, excitement, or just be so into what you're seeing as you're representing it, maybe there's something that comes through in that. Maybe there's some correlation between that feeling of connection to the drawing process and what you're looking at, and what then comes through to the viewer, because that's always so interesting. Like, once it's drawn, and who knows what people see and think and feel. So there are some things that seem so elusive, like likeness or emotions, which somehow also, it boils down to being able to see in a certain way and how you represent it, and then the choices that you make about like how much force you put into something, or what you leave out, or there are all these extra kind of elements and decisions that come into it, which will then affect the final image. It's so interesting. What do you all think about that? Lewis was facing left also. Correct, Kiki. You're so right. But it was from a Lewis perspective, so it was like a totally different drawing. But yeah, you're right. You're totally right. This is really interesting right now. Like this is kind of pre-value, just the pure line version of this. And I wonder maybe before really blocking anything in where it's softer, just using the pigment that I've already got on the blending stump to get some really soft value down. Because there's something, part of what's like kind of mystifying about this image is that interaction of it's like this shouting image is so soft, but such a strong emotion coming through it, and the downward facing face is a lot more resolved, which is interesting. The one that seems like a more explosive kind of emotion is actually a lot softer. Anyone here who's never used the blending stump before? Blending stumps are so cool. Just for pushing some pigment around, just reducing that unmarked white of the paper. So how's the live stream going, everyone? It seems like it's working. We're coming to the end of it, and I'm relieved because 2 weeks ago, and I'm so thankful to you, Martina, that when that live stream wasn't working, I was like, okay, everyone, let's just go to Zoom. And that you said, how about you record Zoom? And then just upload the recording. I was like, oh, thank you. That was a good idea. But if everyone's forgotten the fact that my last few live streams have been flavored with technical difficulties, then that's good. A good sign that people aren't noticing. Because I just forgot about it until right now. Excellent. Yeah, and it's so cool because so for those of you who are not in Zoom, next time you come to one of these live streams, you're also welcome to hang out in Zoom. Then you can join the conversation. So what I'm showing on YouTube is also being showed on Zoom. And as I tried to do that 2 weeks ago, my computer was just like, no way, everything stopped working. And I know I've done it in the past, but now is not the past, and my computer just decided that is not a thing that it can do anymore. Okay. All right. I'll have to manufacture some technical difficulties to keep you coming back. Yeah. So that was the 10 minutes, everyone. We've got another 5 minutes. But yeah, the technical difficulties is what keeps me coming back. Maybe I could use that as a review for my YouTube channel. I'm glad you enjoyed them so much. What has been your favorite technical difficulty so far? Oh yeah, there were a lot of technical difficulties in the Sabra series. Yeah, Sabra has really been there for a lot of technical difficulties. Helped me through a lot. Thank you, Sabra. Yeah, so I haven't quite figured it out yet. Haven't totally looked into it. There's so much behind the scenes for this course building stuff, because this will be the first time I'm hosting my own course. So everything that Kara usually does, or the sketchy team, I've got to do everything, figuring it all out, and there's so much to figure out. So I mentioned earlier that there's the course platform has its own live streaming group meeting kind of thing. So I'm going to figure that out, and I'm thinking in future maybe this Zoom session, maybe the group meeting will be in the Kajabi thing. I'm not sure how it works yet, but I will keep you all posted. And by the way, if you're not yet, and you would like to be, there's a waitlist link for the course, which let's say Wednesday, I will be opening up the early bird registration for the course. So if you want to get more information about the course, when you sign up to the waitlist, you get a anatomical terminology reference PDF, talking like just showing what the different parts of different features are called, which we'll be referring to throughout the course. So that's a little thing you can have. But yeah, jump on the wait list for more information about the course as it comes out. And there will be, as I figure things out, like the potential Zoom alternative, I'll let you know. There's also going to be, it's quite similar to Discord, but there is a Kajabi community feature. So those of you who'll be joining the course, or just those of you interested, the course community will be open for anyone who wants to join it, with a focus on sharing work from the course and asking about stuff relevant to the courses. And that is something I'll also be letting you know about in the near future. Because I think being able to share work is something, and seeing everyone else's work from the tutorials, that's something that I've really benefited from when I've participated in online courses as well. So there's a lot of really cool features on this Kajabi platform. So I'm really looking forward to see how it all plays out, and would love to have you along for the ride. The first module will be released on the 6th of October. And I'm going to be releasing it on the 5 modules over 5 weeks. And it'll be the Monday of each week I'll release the pre-recorded videos, and then on the weekend we'll have a live session about that module. So I think it's the combination of those recorded tutorials and the live sessions I think is going to be really cool. They will. And there's a very cool feature. So the live sessions are recorded, and as soon as they happen, they become part of the course, which is really cool. The way that Kajabi integrates it's so hashtag I want to win. I will go through now. We'll have a look. I'll bring up my other sketches. That was it. 15 minutes. Yeah, the way the Kajabi platform integrates the live streaming into the course setup. As soon as it finishes, it becomes an on-demand video, which I think is a really, really cool feature, integrated into the classes. So let's get in a little bit closer here. It's kind of a lot going on. That was super fun. Thank you, Imola, for this amazing reference. Ha, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to try things that look like they're going to be very hard. And things that look especially hard, sometimes it's really good to try them in a brief time frame. Because I think if I had looked at this and been like, okay, I'm going to need at least an afternoon to work on this. But then it's like, okay, 15 minutes, let's go. And then, something happens. So if you get anything out of coming to my live streams, I think that is something which is very valuable. Sometimes just doing it, just getting started, just having a brief time frame, it's amazing what can happen. I will swing over here a bit, put some of these drawings up here, and then I'll figure out, if you're going to wait around for me, I'd like you now to chat with each other in the chat and in Zoom. Keep yourself entertained, or just keep drawing, because it's going to take me a minute to figure out who the winner is. And if you want to find out right now, look at these. And if you're going to win, then you might want to, or maybe you already know which drawing you like most, and wherever you are in the world, I'll send it to you. All right. So those are the drawings. And I'll see how fast I can figure this out. This will not be the most action-packed part of the live stream, but maybe the most suspense, because someone's going to win something. So people can answer each other's questions, ask questions and answer each other in the chat. All right, maybe I've got to think of something in these moments. What is something that I can do to kind of keep it interesting? Anyone have any ideas? Maybe one day I'll have someone alongside who can collect, like, or already collect the names. What did you say, Linda? Oh, thank you. Thanks for the love. Yeah, and if there's anything else you want to say, there are 32 of you still here. That's amazing. Now's the time to say anything in the chat. Maybe you haven't said anything yet, and now's the time. Also, I'm collecting the hashtag I want to wins. And someone's about to win something. So for a while I was paying for StreamYard, which is a very expensive streaming service, which had this inbuilt thing, and it could choose the winners. And I don't have StreamYard anymore. Okay, but I can touch type. I found all of these. AS says, I think BAM is in Birmingham. Cool. I've never been there, but I know people who have. I'm sure there are wonderful things about it. What's what what's going on in Birmingham? All right, I think I've got everyone. 17, pretty good odds. I go to random.org, and you can put in Dust and Shadow. That is a good question. Am I a full-time artist? Yeah. Yes. I feel like I'm a full-time parent and a full-time artist. And it's also an interesting question, how much of it is art making and how much behind the scenes, like dealing with technical issues, putting courses together, content creation, figuring things out. Like sometimes I'm glad this year I've made doing this daily drawing a thing. And I've done a lot of drawing this year, probably the most portrait drawings I've done. And it's cool that I've like created this context, which is pretty, that would be like one drawing a day, you know, it feels like it's doable for me. So I've actually been able to do a lot of drawing this year, which has really been cool. Because being a full-time artist is not full-time art making, at least not in my experience. But yes, I am. Okay, drum roll. Hughes. What was the full username? I just put Hughes down, but Hughes and something. Where are we? What's the full username? So thank you for everyone who played along. Hughes and Reveries. It's a lovely username. Hughes and Reveries is the winner. Congratulations, and thank you to everyone who played along. Thank you to everyone who was drawing along, and I would love to see your drawings. So Hughes and Reveries, if you're still here, please let me know. And you'll have to get in touch with me because I'm not entirely sure. Instagram's a good way to do it. Dylan.illustration@gmail.com. Yes, you're still here. So write to me either on Instagram or send me an email and be like, I'm Hughes and Reveries, I won. Do you already know which one is your favorite, Hughes and Reveries? Yeah, so I'll flick back through. Thank you for being here, everyone. I would love to see your drawings. So if you're on Instagram, which is where I'm most active, I'm also on lots of other places, almost wherever you use social media, you can tag me, and I'd love to see and reshare your work. And thank you to everyone's faces. Thank you to everyone who has faces that we drew. Thank you to everyone who we got to draw today. Thank you, all of you. It was my pleasure. Thank you to my Zoom friends for being here. It's been really nice having your little faces there and having a chat from time to time. Super nice to have you here. And yeah, join the email waitlist for the course because the early bird offer is going to be opened on Wednesday, and the waitlist is the first place to hear about it. So and I'm going to send some drawing tips there as well to kind of get everyone in the mood for the course, and I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, thanks for being here, everyone. You're all awesome, and I can't wait to see your work. So, bye-bye. Hughes and Reveries says it's the first time I won something. Oh, that's so cool. That's so nice. Yes, get in touch. Maybe the last one, the double exposure. Yeah, that was really cool. So thank you, Imola, for that incredible. Yeah, that was fun. It's yours if that's the one you want. It's yours. You can still think about it, definitely. Yeah, thanks again, everyone. It's been super fun. I'm glad this live stream worked out, and I will see you very soon somewhere on the internet. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Ta-ta. Yeah, you're very welcome. So YouTube's finished. Thanks, Klaus. I'll see you soon.